What up, everybody? Pauper MTG, Dan and Rob coming back at you. It's a new year, so we're coming at you with a new deck.
Wow!
This deck is a horrible abomination, and nobody will enjoy this.
I'm enjoying it. I don't know. It's got Myr Servitor, Dan, your favorite card.
Yeah.
When Dan won the Pro Tour, that was his promo card.
Exactly. Everybody was so confused. This is kind of a combo-y lockdown style deck where we use Myr Servitor to combo with Thoughtpicker Witch to basically control the opponent's draws for all time. We'll go into that in a little bit. First, we're going to look at the lands.
If you remember, if any of you guys play Modern, this deck plays a lot like the Lantern control decks, and that's sort of what I was trying to go for when I built this. So We'll see how well it works. I did some test games, and they were pretty spicy. I beat Affinity, actually. So
in the Just for Fun room, of course.
Naturally.
Yep. Anyway, so start with the lands. We got Dimir Aqueduct, enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield, you return a land you control to its owner's hand, and it adds a blue and a black to your mana pool. Dismal Backwater, blue or black, taps. Enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Halimar Depths comes into the battlefield tap. Enters the battlefield, and you look at the top 3 cards of your library and then put them back in any order. This is a free scry almost, kind of. I don't know.
The only problem is, though, if you reveal cards you really don't want, there's nothing you can do about them with this card. But with this deck, we have ways around that we'll get into in a second. Also, you'll note a little bit of a combo going on with that Dimir Aqueduct up there. So.
Indeed, you can just keep doing this.
I can do it twice.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Then we got some islands, 5 of them looks like. 2 Seated Synods, artifact land that is also an island.
This time it's in here for a reason, and we'll go into that later.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. We got 5 swamps, Vault of Whispers, artifact swamps. 21 lands in total. In the 1-drop slot, we got 4 Preordains.
The best man.
Yeah, you guys know. You pay 1, you scry 2, and then you draw a card. It doesn't get much better than that for 1 mana. Then we got Thought Scour. Target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Then you draw a card.
Good for putting away your Halimar Depths if you don't like it, at least some of it. Good for possibly getting Stinkweed Imp in the yard, which is something you want in this deck, as well as our 1-drops, which we're going to go into in a second.
Yep. Then we got 2 Sanitarium Skeleton. This is a 1-2 for 1. You can pay 3 to return it from your graveyard to your hand.
Myr Servitor is 5 through 6 here. Look at this guy. You thought he would never see competitive play, did you? Did you?
Well, this depends on how you define competitive, I guess.
I'm going to compete against my opponents.
Alright, fair enough. We got 4 Thoughtpicker Witch, a 1-1 for 1. You pay 1, you sacrifice a creature, and you look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's library. Then you exile one of them. You do this to Sanitarium Skeleton, and then you just bring it back anyway. Where the goal here is to recur things to sack to Thoughtpicker Witch. I'll go to Myr Servitor now because that kind of combos into this. Myr Servitor, it's a 1-1 for 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Myr Servitor is on the battlefield, each player returns all cards named Myr Servitor from his or her graveyard to the battlefield.
The Artifact Squadron Hawk. This guy is insanely good, Dan. 1-1, 1 mana, efficiency, right there. That's pretty much the standard for colorless. And you could possibly get this guy back every turn.
I did notice that it says each player, so that means if we get the mirror, things get kind of weird.
If we play against the mirror, I'll hang myself.
Yeah, that's probably the
live on
response.
stream.
But anyway, so we get a bunch of these out, and then we can sack all but one of them to Thoughtpicker Witch to just exile cards off the top of their library for all time. And then do it again next turn, and the turn after, and yeah. We got 4 Tragic Slip. For 1 mana, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. It has Morbid, which is whenever if a creature died this turn, it gets -13/-13 instead. Basically, it says destroy target creature.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you can reliably get Morbid, like, this is easily one of the better black removal spells.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes you can just cast it without Morbid, even, just to kill, like, a Delver on turn 1 or what have you.
Who doesn't love that?
Also, of note, with the Thoughtpicker and, like, the Myr Servitor combo, since you're always going to be sacking your servitors, like you can do some combat stuff where like if you're swinging in with like a Gurmag Angler, like we don't even care because we can just block and sack in response, you know. So I mean that's a little bit of tricks going on, you know?
Right?
A little bit of tricks. Same with the Sanitarium Skeleton, you know, the Skell.
Yep. Then we got 3 Unearth. Return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard right to the battlefield. Kill our Thoughtpicker Witch.
Yeah, you'll notice that the combo here is pretty shaky at best, so this is sort of our insurance plan. But I mean, even against decks that don't want to kill our creatures, like it still cycles. So I mean, it's in all, it's a good card. Just think of it like a think twice. They can sometimes be really good.
Right.
Only you think once.
Yep. We got a Lannonbola. It's a mana. It's a 1-mana artifact. Equipped creature has unattached Lannonbola, and you tap target creature. Says suck it Tron.
I mean,
in general, does big things. Helps us get in there.
This is just part of our Trinket Mage package, which we'll go into in a second here once we get through all of our trinkets.
Right. Then we got a Sylvok Lifestaff. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever it dies, you gain 3 life. We're stacking stuff to Thoughtpicker Witch. We can gain a ton of life in the process. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to stabilize against certain decks that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Just at the expense of 1 slot. I mean, you can't get much better for that.
No, absolutely not.
Better than that. Better. Okay.
Yeah. We got 4 Agony Warps, 1 blue, 1 black. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Target creature gets -0/-3 until end of turn. This can effectively neutralize 2 creatures at once by killing one and making the other have 0 attack, or just an insignificant amount.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can easily get 2-for-1s off this thing because you can do combat tricks. Because you can, like, kill one creature and make the other one like a -3 and then block with something, you know?
Yeah.
So that's about besides that.
Yeah.
It's also multicolor. That's kind of cool. You don't see that too much in Pauper, huh?
No, you don't. Then we got 4 Trickett Mage. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact with converted mana cost 1 or less. That's all these things. And our artifact land. So this could also just be a rampant growth if we wanted it to.
This guy does everything.
And it's a 2/2. So
also of note, every card in our deck can be resurrected with Unearth, which is nice.
Wow. Talk about synergy.
4 copies. Well, I'll let you do it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
We got 4 copies of Stinkweed Imp. It's a 1/2 with flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, you destroy that creature. Trades with everything. Hits you for 1.
That's true. He's basically our win con.
Yep. And then it has Dredge 5 if you would draw a card. Instead, you may put exactly 5 cards from the top of your library into your graveyard. And if you do, you return that card from your graveyard to your hand. So this thing kills everything. It never dies. And so on and so forth.
Yeah, and it does have utility in getting things into the yard, such as the Servitors or the Sanitarium Skeletons.
Yep, or whatever we want.
Yeah, or like, say you have it on Earth in hand and you mill your Thoughtpicker Witch.
Yep.
I mean, boom, you can get it right back. So
there you go. Moving on to the sideboard, we got 4 Hydroblast. And 1 blue instant. Choose 1. Counter target spell if it's red. Destroy target permanent if it's red. Comes in against decks that use red, and then we do those things to them. Pretty obvious include here. We got 2 Spell Pierce. Counter target non-creature spell unless its opponent controller pays 2. Good against control, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing against things that don't run creatures, you side this in, basically.
Yep.
And I tried to balance out the sideboard so we could take out all of our creature removal in exchange for something that does something.
Yep.
If we need to do that.
If we need to do that. We got 2 Duress. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. Also good against control. Rip out their counter spell, their card draw combo, take their combo pieces, stuff like that. We got 3 Diabolic Edict. 2 mana, instant, target player sacrifices a creature.
It's possible this thing should just be Chainer's Edict, but the way I see it is this is mostly going to go in against like Hexproof or something like that.
Yeah.
And I figure the added value of it being an instant, you know, will give you a little bit more of a blowout factor, and we're not going to be getting to like 7 mana anytime soon.
No, 21
anyway.
lands, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, against Tron, blow up their dude. I suppose it's not that good against Tron, but it could be good against
I mean,
Tron.
some Trons, like the Control Tron, maybe, it could be fine.
Ones that run like Colony Garden and all that shit, no, probably not. Then we got 3 Echoing Decay. Target creature and all their creatures with the same name as that creature get -2/-2 until end of turn. This is our way of running a board sweeper against tokens without having to without replacing like Nausea that would also kill all our stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to kill your Servitors or your Thoughtpicker Witch. So
yeah. And then we got 1 Nihil Spellbomb. You sacrifice it. You exile all cards from target player's graveyard. And then when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, I can pay 1 black to draw a card. Good against
graveyard strategies.
Us, yeah.
Good against
pretty much every deck we play. And then it's fetchable with Trinket Mage, so we really only need 1 out of the sideboard.
Which is nice. It's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I kind of like this idea. It's been a little grindy, I guess, but we figure usually we're the ones on the receiving ends of a 50-minute grindy control matchup. So this time we're out for vengeance against the world.
Dan's got the taste of blood in his mouth. He's like a shark.
Yep.
He's going straight for the just for fun room.
Yep. Everyone's gonna feel my wrath. Any thoughts, Rob?
Needs more blister grub. Have you considered splashing for lightning bolt?
Right.
It's a joke, guys. Get it? It's a meme.
It is. So yeah, that's the deck, and we'll see you guys for matches. So look forward to that.